Hello and welcome to the Daily Forex Report for June 7th. We are looking at the US Japanese yen pair first. This pair formed somewhat of a doji bar, did close down a little bit. We are looking for this pair to potentially go as high as 80.72, possibly as low as 79.58. Look for some resistance around 80.50 and look for some support around 79.95. Now, looking at the Euro USD pair, this pair moved to the upside, closed higher. We are looking for it to potentially go as high as 148.26, possibly as low as 144.93. Look for some resistance around 14700 and look for some support around 145.50. Now, the pound US dollar pair, it continues to move sideways, did close up. We are looking for it to potentially go as high as 165.84. possibly as low as 162.57. Look for some resistance around 164.75 and look for some support around 163.25. Now the US Swiss, this pair continues to move to the downside. It did close up, however, did break the previous session's low, but just barely by a tenth of a pip or two. We are looking for this pair to continue to the downside. However, if it moves higher, look for some resistance around 184.50 and look for some support to the downside around 0.8325. Now, as far as news announcements go, we have a plethora of news announcements for tomorrow. At 5 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the Eurozone gross domestic products being released for the quarter. Consensus is they're going to hold at 0.80%. Year to date, they're showing a hold as well from 2.50%. Now, we have the Canadian dollar releasing their housing starts for May at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that is that it has moved higher from 179.0K to 182.0K, which would be good news for the Canadian dollar if it does come out at that price or higher. Now, we also have the New Zealand Reserve Bank releasing their rate decision at 2 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. The consensus is they're going to hold rates at 2.50%. Now, going to 7:50 p.m., we have the Japanese releasing their gross domestic product. Annualized, we're seeing a decrease from a negative 3.7% to negative 3.1%, which would be an improvement and good for the Japanese yen. Now, we also have the Australian releasing their employment change or unemployment change rather at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They're showing an unemployment rate that has stayed the same actually at 4.9%. Well, as far as what am I looking for during this next session, if you go to the US Japanese yen pair, we do have an inside bar that has been created. If you back out a little ways, you can see that we have a potential for a breakout to the downside. This pair has been moving lower the past several sessions. I am looking for it to take out this low, grabbing roughly about a 40 pip move on this one. If you put your stop loss right here, it's about 37 at the high of this previous bar here, about 37 to get 40. If you go a little bit longer term, you can see that if we get a break down to the downside, it could potentially run down to this point, grabbing a lot more. So if you want to go short, go to break even, and then take profit at about 110 pips, that's definitely an option. Basically looking to short around 79.95. Looking for it to come down, go to break even around 79.56, and then go ahead and exit the position at 78.84. Now, we are crossing a 0-0 mark, so I would be aware of that. We could bounce off of the 9,800 mark or 7,900 mark as it would be. So make sure to keep an eye on that. Well, that about wraps us up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.